Good morning. Here's a 30-second timer if anybody's interested. Daily gratitude practices. When we did our spirit fair last month ago, whatever time we did that, we had a table that we set up to talk about our daily gratitude practices and the things that Jen and I do to let everybody know what we do. Oh, wait. I promised Martin a flag, but this is as good as I could get. Now, starting the day off with gratitude practice begins with the mindset that can lead to a more pleasant and resilient framing of the day's events. Why not be grateful if that's the benefit? Jen did that slide. Every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. Good find, Jen. Now I'm going to give you my version of the legend of coffee time. All the way back to 1943, April 1943. This is my great-grandmother on the left. Her name was Helen. Then my grandfather, the tall, good-looking fella in the middle, that was Louis A. Coleman Jr., and Louis A. Coleman Sr. is on the right. And this is July of 1943, my fault. And this man and his son and his mother was crazy mad in love with his son. Between August 7th and 1943 and November 17th, 1943, as my family discovered in my grandmother's cedar chest, was a pack of letters that came from my great-grandfather to my grandfather. Now, in 1943, my grandfather was 20 years old, and around 18, as far as I'm aware, he worked with his dad at the Grand Rapids Fire Department as firefighters. And then my grandfather enlisted in the Army, and my great-grandfather stayed to hold down the fort. And these letters that they shared, that my great-grandfather sent to my grandfather, talk about daily life things like I had to put in a ton of coal down into the bin and had to make sure that we could get the electrical wiring into the bathroom, but I didn't want to do that. So my great-grandfather talks about all of these daily activities, mundane things that happen. And at every single letter ends with, love you, love Pop. Or it says, may God always be with you, my beloved son. I love you, my son, consistently and constantly throughout that. So because my great-grandfather and my grandfather worked at the Grand Rapids Fire Department together, it is likely that they would share coffee together in the morning, which, as you'll soon learn, is a religious experience in my family. So, yes, it is. So in 1943, November 17th, 1943, my grandfather had just come back, had just visited, and my great-grandfather talks about how proud he is that my grandfather was walking so tall and being so proud, and it was incredible. Wednesday, November 24th, days later, the Grand Rapids Press headline reads, "A wall crushes firemen at the Berkey and Gay blaze." That was my great-grandfather. So, because my grandfather was enlisted, they got the message while they were on their train back to their station, and they had to turn around and come back. My great-grandfather was 42 years old. Okay, I know this is really heavy, but I promise it gets better. Okay. This right here. I have to have hands for this one, sorry. This is an editorial that was written with the Grand Rapids Herald on November 28th of 1943. And it's called A Hero at Home. Again, this part's going to be a little heavy, but I promise it will get better. Okay, no medals of honor will be given his family. No letter from the president will be treasured by his loved ones. No great pension will provide food and raiment for those he left behind. Yet Lewis A. Coleman was no less a hero than are those who fight the great fight on the fields of battle, on the decks of ships, or in the skies. Lewis A. Coleman died in the line of duty, died while he was doing his full part in seeking to save valuable property, in preventing this city from suffering what might easily have been a great disaster. Lewis A. Coleman was a hero of peacetime pursuits, yet he was battling against a dangerous enemy and a ruthless one. Lewis A. Coleman was a fireman of the Grand Rapids Fire Department. He was killed when one of the walls at the Berkey and Gay plant fell upon him during the conflagration of last Wednesday morning. It is a sad commentary upon our appreciation for the work our public servants perform for us. The pension will go to the family of Mr. Coleman will not be a small one, or will be but a small one. There will be no great public ceremony in memory of his gallantry. Perhaps this editorial, inadequate as it will be, the only statement of appreciation for his service, the only tribute to him who died. We honor, as we should, the men who die in this war, and Mr. Coleman's son, who is a soldier. Should this son fall in battle, his name will be recorded on a roll of honor and medals will be presented to his loved ones. But his father, who died also in a battle against the flames, will be little remembered officially, and in just a few days, his memory will have escaped the minds of people generally. But Lewis A. Coleman died a hero in the line of duty. Let this be his epitaph. I promise, I know that was heavy. So my grandfather, after he worked through the part of his grief, he decided we are going to celebrate everything until further notice. So I grew up with massive birthday parties up until my 57 people in her family at this point, and when we all get together, I mean, it is a party. Great news, everybody. That editorial was wrong. So wrong. Lewis A. Coleman Sr.'s name is still known, well known, among the Grand Rapids Fire Department as late as this year. So they remember him and they hold him in esteem because of what he did. And I know that that's really hard, but that's where the grateful part comes in. That's me and my mom. My mom and I, very complicated relationship. And for 20 years, I didn't talk to her. Not at all. I was angry, she was angry, it was just ridiculous. Then one day, 20 years after the fact, I start talking to her again. Just random stuff, nothing extraordinary. But as I was drinking my morning coffee, I happened to take a noisy sip, and I said, nectar of the gods. Yes, stop right there, or I'm going to make you go back. My mom said, what did you say? Nectar of the gods. She said, my dad used to say that. He used to sit in his underwear in the dining room table, and he would drink his coffee with a noisy slurp, and he would say, nectar of the gods after every first sip. So I started using that as my spiritual practice every morning. Take a sip, nectar of the gods. This is so much fun. Okay, so Jen and I, we evolved it. It started out with just, nectar of the gods, but it's become a thing. Come down.
And water works just fine.
Yes, water, any beverage, doesn't matter. So if you have something, you can join with us. You don't have to, but you can. You ready?
Yep.
I raise my cup to your ancestors. I raise my cup to my ancestors. From your spirit to my spirit to our spirit. Thank you, Grand Rapids Fire Department. Thank you, universe, for this beautiful, wonderful, fucked up life. Bless this holy water. Ah, nectar of the gods. Okay, here's the decaf version. Thank you, Nathaniel, for that decaf version of our prayers. All right, for those of you who didn't have liquid, this is something that you can have. You're welcome to share it. I offer my love to your ancestors. I offer my love to my ancestors. From your spirit to my spirit to our spirit. Thank you, universe, for this beautiful, wonderful, messed up life. Bless the sacred moment. Ah, breath of life. Jen's turn. Thank you.
Jen had multiple technical difficulties this morning, and those included my printer not working, and then the printer here not working. So here we are. God bless Google Docs. So many things to be grateful for. But why gratitude? Because neuroplasticity is a thing. You can rewrite your brain's patterns. Why not fish out all the crap in your mind and start from a happy place? It's as simple and as difficult as being mindful and grateful. Maintaining a mindset of gratitude can be challenging, but growth is challenging. And growing into gratitude is a worthwhile endeavor. After all, gratitude leads to more joy in your life, and more joy, even just a little, is worth pursuing. A recent Charles Schwab poll found that 83% of people equate well-being with their own internal sense of happiness. Living in gratitude is a great way to increase that sense of inner happiness. Many religions call for being grateful by offering regular blessings. Blessings over food, for example, or going to a worship service. Judaism, in fact, calls for saying 100 blessings a day. Rabbi David Wolpe on My Jewish Learning writes, Jewish tradition bids us to offer 100 blessings a day. This is not about the numbers. There's nothing magical about 100. The one who recited 99 blessings is not spiritually derelict. The secret's not in the numbers, but in the underlying ideology of blessing. The Mishnah exhorts us to pray when we see lightning, mountain, deserts, the ocean, a long-lost friend, and a myriad of other things. Each category has a formulated blessing, which is up on the screen. This is not where did I go? Reminding us of the author of all. This is not the enterprise of accumulating blessings. It is training and cultivating appreciation. If you bless 100 things a day, you recognize that in each day, there are 100 marvels, at least, spread before us as a banquet of beauty in God's world. Religion at its best takes us on the tasks of combating the ennui that life brings. It's a struggle against believing in the ordinary. Every sunset is a sky on fire, every rainbow a promise. A blessing turns our hearts heavenward, and for a moment, our daily lives are renewed by wonder, 100 times a day. End quote. In fact, almost every religion calls us to remain present and grateful for the wonders of what is right now. When I say my gratitudes for the birds or the trees or the sun or the stars, it's not in Hebrew. I'm confident the universe doesn't care. The language of gratitude is the language of the heart, not the lips. The plants and birds, all of nature know the tone of love. It's not the words, it's the vibe. As I say my gratitudes throughout the day and evening, I'm not counting, but it's kind of a game. I admit, how many more things can I be grateful for today? How many chances pop up right in my face to be grateful every day? When my now 19-year-old was very little, 3 or so, I think, that was the previous slide, I started a consistent bedtime gratitude practice. We would alternate sharing 3 gratitudes, then say a prayer that I created and no longer remember, and ended in unison by saying, "We are grateful for these things and so many more." 3 is not a magic number either. It's what Mare and I say, and sometimes still my son and I say. Because 3 gratitudes is a fair attempt, even on a rough day. And some days are so rough, there's just one. And sometimes that one is being grateful that that day is over. And that's okay, because it's still gratitude. Now it's your turn to participate. Yay! As you're comfortable, please turn to your neighbor. Each of you will have several minutes to express 3 things you're grateful for. However, there's no magic number. Feel free to second the other person's gratitude for one of your own, or to come up with only 1 or 2, because sometimes life be like that. We'll ring the bell after 5 minutes to signal it's time to come back to the larger group. Remember to thank each other for sharing.
Hello, Leo. How are you doing?
Just so happens.
Now, let's close this gratitude practice by saying in unison, we are grateful for these things and so many more. Thank you. And thank you for being here, for listening and participating and humoring us for the sake of joy and gratitude.